Rachel Zegler's comeback film shuts down amid on-set chaos. Uncooperative, volatile, and at the center of it all, what was meant to be Rachel Zegler's triumphant return to big screen has turned into a full-blown industry scandal. The untitled major studio project, touted as her chance at redemption following backlash from her earlier roles, has reportedly shut down midway through production. Not postponed, not quietly restructured, but completely halted. Officially, the studio is citing vague scheduling conflicts. But according to insiders close to production, the reality behind the scenes was far more chaotic, and Rachel Zegler herself may have been the tipping point. Multiple crew members have begun speaking out, describing the work environment as toxic and unsustainable. The root of the dysfunction, they allege, was Zegler's behavior. What began as subtle signs, eye rolls during line readings, later arrivals with coffee in hand, and air detachment during rehearsals, soon escalated into more disruptive conduct. A lighting technician commented, "It felt like she thought she was doing us a favor by being there." Still, no one initially called her out. The crew hoped the tension would ease with time. Instead, it worsened. The real unraveling reportedly began when Zegler started questioning the script, despite it already being locked. According to sources, she wasn't looking to enhance the story for creative reasons. Instead, she allegedly demanded rewrites to reshape her character around her personal image. It was like she wanted the film to revolve entirely around her, one insider explained. It didn't matter how it impacted the larger narrative. Her demands put pressure on the writing team, disrupted the production timeline, and created friction with other actors. Tensions reached a boiling point during a routine direction session. The director offered what was described as basic delivery feedback, but Zegler reportedly erupted. Witnesses say she accused the director of undermining her talent, raised her voice on set, and stormed off, still in costume. The cameras were rolling. Extras were watching. That, sources say, was the moment the production unofficially died. The aftermath was swift. A supporting actor allegedly refused to return to set without a mediator present. Makeup and costume teams began rotating their schedules to avoid direct interaction with Zegler. One crew member called the environment a walking PR nightmare. Throughout the chaos, Zegler reportedly maintained that she was misunderstood and unfairly targeted. But that defense has begun to wear thin, not only with the production team, but also with the public. What makes the situation all the more damaging is how closely it mirrors past controversies. Zegler had already drawn backlash for her comments surrounding Disney's Snow White remake, which many criticize as tone-deaf and dismissive. The fallout from that project left a dent in her public image, and this new role was meant to repair it instead. Rachel Zegler, too difficult to work with, is now trending across social media and entertainment forums. The pattern feels all too familiar. Script meddling, creative clashes, on-set tension, and a public narrative that focuses more on her behavior than her performance. One viral Reddit post summed up the public sentiment bluntly. She's not unlucky. She's just unlikable. This is more than just tabloid gossip. The implications for her career are significant. This was a small indie passion project. It was a high-stakes studio film meant to reframe her narrative. Instead, it is added to an ever-growing list of PR disasters. When a production collapses like this and you're at the center of it, the industry notices, said one entertainment attorney. Studios, agents, and casting directors make mental notes. No one wants to insure a lead actor with a meltdown record. As the dust settles, Zegler is said to be scrambling for damage control. She's reportedly reached out to former publicists, contacted journalists she previously clashed with, and is calling in favors from industry contacts in an effort to stop the bleeding. But the response so far has been tepid at best, even among her own fans. Some say the media is bullying her, but many more admit they're tired of defending her actions. What cuts the deepest is that this film wasn't even hers to lead. Zegler was cast in a key but supporting role. She was meant to enhance someone else's vision, not take over. Yet once again, all the focus is on her, and not for the right reasons. Perhaps the most damning part of this entire ordeal is the silence. Usually, when a scandal like this erupts, someone close to the star, an actor, a director, a friend, steps forward with words of support. But this time, no one has. Not even a polite, "Rachel was great to work with" on Instagram. That silence is deliberate, and it speaks volumes. A-list names who once praised Zegler on red carpets are now dodging questions. When asked about the incident, one former co-star responded flatly, "I'm not involved in that." Another said, "I hope everything works out for everyone." In Hollywood speak, that's code for, "Keep me out of this mess." Even the studio behind the now-paused production has stayed cold and quiet. No heartfelt press releases, no defense of their lead actress. Just bland statements about adjusting schedules and maintaining creative excellence. Whether Rachel Zegler can bounce back from this remains to be seen. But one thing is clear. Her clean slate comeback just became another cautionary tale in an industry that has little patience for repeated chaos. In Hollywood, reputations are everything, and once lost, their rarely reclaimed Rachel Zegler's public spiral deepens. From career comeback to cautionary tale to studio, maybe calling it scheduling conflicts, but Hollywood insiders know better. In corporate speak, it's code for a quiet exit, and Rachel Zegler is at the center of it. What was meant to be her career-redefining project has instead become a masterclass in how fast things can fall apart in the entertainment industry. And now, the ripple effects are everywhere. A rising actress previously attached to a separate, upcoming project with Zegler has reportedly backed out, citing creative differences. Translation: I saw the headlines, and I'm not signing up for that drama. Other actors have begun instructing their agents to avoid submitting them for any future projects involving Zegler. Even journalists who once celebrated her as a confident breakout star are revisiting old interviews, and the charm they once praised now reads as entitled, even tone deaf. Things took an even darker turn when Zegler finally broke her silence. But instead of a carefully crafted statement or a thoughtful sit-down interview, she opted for an impromptu Instagram live. Dressed in a hoodie and speaking with thinly veiled sarcasm, she delivered a rant that shocked even her fans. Everyone's ignoring my calls. Whatever, it's chill. I don't even care, she said with an eye roll, brushing off the controversy like a punchline. The chat flooded with concerned comments. Asterisk, why are you mocking this? Why are you playing the victim? Asterisk, but she didn't stop there. Later that evening, she casually dropped that she'd be appearing on a talk show to talk about them, smirking as if it were a threat. TikTok clips soon followed, showing her joking about playing two characters in the halted film. Double the trouble, am I right? Given the rumors that she was a central reason for the production's shutdown, the timing couldn't have been worse. Even her most devoted fans were stunned. One user summed it up, I want to like her, but she makes it so hard. Worse still, sources claim this public meltdown unfolded against her team's advice. Her PR reps had reportedly prepared a strategic apology and a plan to shift the narrative, but Zegler allegedly refused. I'm done playing nice, she told them. That choice may go down as the moment her career hit the point of no return. The fallout was immediate. The studio's legal department began reviewing whether Zegler had breached confidentiality or non-disparagement clauses in her contract. According to insiders, they started archiving every online post, message, and crew statement. One assistant even alleged that during a block scene, Zegler's outburst left them feeling unsafe. This is no longer just a PR issue. It's a legal and financial liability. Her own legal team reportedly advised her go silent, but the damage was already done. Online, hashtags like #replace Zegler began trending. Fan-made edits went viral, swapping Zegler out of scenes and inserting other actresses in her place. The studio remained notably silent throughout, but insiders suggest that silence is anything but passive. Behind the scenes, it often signals that legal negotiations are underway. One executive producer reportedly described the situation as containment mode. The goal, they said, is no longer salvaging the film. It's protecting the company from financial ruin. Insurance companies can decline to cover losses tied to talent-related disruptions. If that happens, Zegler's behavior could cost the studio millions. There are now rumors of a legal clause being drafted that would allow the studio to sever ties with Zegler without requiring a complete reshoot. Meanwhile, several major PR firms have flagged her as a high-risk liability. Some are even cautioning their clients to avoid public association with her entirely. And the fallout isn't limited to the entertainment world. A major brand campaign that had featured Zegler has reportedly scrubbed all promotion material tied to her, silently, with no public explanation. Just gone. Beyond the chaos of one career, a broader conversation is unfolding inside Hollywood. How do you manage young, highly visible talent in the era of constant online exposure? As one industry insider put it bluntly, she's a walking caution sign now. This was an HR risk from the start. The red flags were always there. We just ignored them because the hype was too loud. That comment from an anonymous executive cuts to the heart of the industry's reckoning over the implosion of Rachel Zegler's latest project. What began as a collapse of a single film has now evolved into a full-blown cautionary tale, one with ripple effects reaching far beyond Zegler herself. Zegler's alleged on-set behavior, combined with now infamous Instagram live rant and a string of tone-deaf social media posts, has forced studios to rethink how they handle rising stars. particularly those with massive online followings. What was once branded as authenticity is now being reclassified in boardrooms as recklessness, and more alarmingly, liability. One casting director reportedly told a trade publication off the record that Zegler's behavior may have damaged the chances of other Gen Z actresses who are genuinely using their platforms for positive advocacy. She made activism look bratty, they said. It's a harsh indictment, but one that's gaining traction among execs worried about reputational blowback. Studios are already acting. According to multiple insiders, new contracts for actors under 30 are now being drafted with stricter behavioral clauses. These include restrictions on unscripted social media activity, particularly during active production or promotional windows. In short, express yourself, but don't drag the project or the studio down with you. This internal recalibration goes beyond Zegler. Executives are said to be revisiting old interviews, social media accounts, and publicity tours to assess which young stars have had proper media training and which ones pose potential future headline risk. The questions being asked behind closed doors are increasingly pointed. Can this actor speak to press without inflaming controversy? Will they keep set tensions private? Will they promote the film or hijack the narrative? Zegler's behavior and spiraling fallout has become a case study, and not in the way she hoped. Viral reach, as it turns out, doesn't always equal real value. Even talent agencies are adjusting their approach. One up-and-coming actress with similar activist image was reportedly told to go quiet online for 6 months while her team finalized a studio deal. Another was asked to delete a critical tweet thread targeting executives, just days after signing a multi-film contract. For years, Hollywood worked to tap into Gen Z's hunger for unfiltered realness. Stars who were bold, outspoken, and politically engaged were in demand. But Zegler's collapse is making some executives rethink that strategy. What was once seen as edgy and refreshing now reads as unpredictable and risky. Her public unraveling played out in real time. The Instagram Live, where she mocked the controversy while dressed in a hoodie and rolled her eyes at the situation, came across less as candid and more as careless. "Everyone's ignoring my calls. Whatever, it's chill. I don't even care," she said, as viewers flooded the chat with concern. Then came the TikToks, where she joked about double the trouble, while rumors swirled that she was the reason production had shut down. Even her most devoted fans began to distance themselves. One user wrote, "I want to like her, but she makes it so hard." The bigger issue? Insiders claim all of this happened despite her PR team's warnings. A carefully written apology and damage control strategy were reportedly ready to go, but Zegler allegedly refused to follow it, saying she was done playing nice. That decision may have cost her more than just goodwill. The studio's legal department reportedly began reviewing whether Zegler's posts and public comments violated any confidentiality or non-disparagement clauses. Internal messages and crew interviews were reportedly documented. One assistant claimed they felt genuinely unsafe during a block scene after one of her outbursts. This isn't just about optics anymore. It's about legal exposure and financial risk. Insurance providers can, and often do, deny coverage for losses tied to talent-related disruptions. If that happens, Zegler's behavior could cost the studio millions. Rumors suggest a legal clause is being drafted that would allow the studio to fire her and restructure film without needing a complete reshoot. Meanwhile, a major brand quietly pulled her from an upcoming campaign. No public statement, no explanation, just gone. And so, the industry moves on without her. Comebacks do happen. We've seen stars fall from grace only to rise again. But those resurrections require support, a loyal fan base, a powerful mentor, or a studio willing to take the risk. Right now, Zegler has none of those. The silence is deafening. The same people who once touted her as the next big thing are now pretending they barely knew her. One executive even called her a reverse Cinderella, plucked from obscurity, given the spotlight, and then left with nothing before midnight. Except instead of losing a glass slipper, Rachel lost her audience. And in Hollywood, where public image is currency, reputational damage sticks. Her recent post suggests she hasn't fully grasped the gravity of the moment. There's no reflection, no recalibration. Only sarcasm, defiance, and pity. While she continues to plead for sympathy, the industry has already turned the page. Insiders say a rom-com she was attached to is now quietly recasting her role. Officially, they'll cite scheduling issues. Unofficially, it's a clean break, scandal-free. Zegler's unraveling has sparked a broader industry reckoning about fame, authenticity, and accountability. In the age of viral reach and 24/7 access, the line between star power and self-destruction is thinner than ever. For Zegler, That access became her undoing, a glimpse into how fast an unfiltered moment can destroy years of image building. So the question remains, can Rachel Zegler come back from this storm? Or has Hollywood already shut the door for good? The coming months will decide if this was just a stumble or the end of the road. But one thing is already certain. Her story is changing how Hollywood will shape and safeguard the next generation of stars.